You can't go, and you never
Nope.
will. More concerning to me about this game is as soon as James called Jimmy G great, he stunk it up. The James curse, I think, is really what's going on here.
Oh, that's what's going on.
Yep. The
I'm
James
still trying
curse.
to figure out. Look, MJ is one of my good friends. Love him like a brother, and he's probably one of the biggest Falcon fans you will hear out there. I loathe the Atlanta Falcons only because the fan base here, more times than not, is very bandwagony. So the city is not really talking about them because they're not playing well. There's no loyalty in this team to the team amongst this fan base. For them to go west and beat the Niners, I mean, only a hardcore fan like MJ could actually see that happening.
In the way that they did it, too, though. I mean, the last 2 minutes of that game were
crazy.
Abnormally crazy.
Mm-hmm. And Jimmy G, for all the greatness I harped on him the previous week against the Saints, he stunk it up against the Niners.
Oh, he was bad. I can't even
that game to be that close. Yeah, 13-10 for the entire – I mean, they come out the second half, they kick a field goal, okay, 13-10. But it was 13-10 going into the fourth quarter. You had 3 drives. You couldn't generate points or offense.
He forgot he had wide receivers. The only person he was throwing the ball to was George Kittle. That's not going to make things happen. You got to get. I mean, Deebo Samuel, Emmanuel Sanders, those guys.
Emmanuel Sanders, yes.
Those guys got to step it up. I mean, and quite honestly, there were times they were open, and Jimmy G did not
definitely
see it.
Open. I don't understand how. He had one play where he scrambled out to the right and had the running back sitting in the middle of the field with the nearest defender 5+ yards away, and he was still looking downfield. It's like, take the check down, get the yardage, move to sticks.
Yeah. Was definitely not his best performance. Niners are in the playoffs, though. They're hoping for Seattle to lose again so that they can regain the West spot. I will take the Niners to win in this game. I'm going to do so cautiously and certainly not by 6 points. Yeah,
I'll take the Niners as well. Losing to the Falcons the way they did is probably the bounce back they'll need, and have them nice and revved up to take it to the Rams this week, who also got a nice little blasting on Sunday.
By the way, PM showers predicted in San Francisco as well. So weather, slight weather problems there on Saturday.
Weather says they want to be a factor.
Could be. The Sunday 1:00 games begin with the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are 5-9, at the Atlanta Falcons, who are 5-9. The Jaguars 23rd in the power rankings. The Falcons 22nd. They are favored by 7.5 points in this game. Now, remember, I said at the beginning of the show, both of these teams should not want to win the game whatsoever. They should be like,
no
sayonara,
no
see
more
you next season.
No, Jay, we already had one tie this year. No more.
Both teams are coming off of big upsets. Does seem that Nick Folk has stolen some of that Minshew magic, despite the fact that they had that big upset last week. Or it just could be a lack of DJ Chark. How is the injury report looking there for Jacksonville?
Still nursing the ankle, expected to practice on Wednesday.
That definitely seems to be problematic for the Jaguars. Neither team should want to win, but I do believe that Dan Quinn wants to win more. I think we're just waiting for the end of the season for Doug Marrone and company to say, see you later. Plus, not to mention, Tom Coughlin could be seeing a lot of trouble as the NFLPA announced a big victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars, forcing players to do their rehab in their medical facilities.
Here's a mind-boggling thing. There are 32 teams in the NFL, right?
Yep.
So I don't know the quick math on 1 over 32, but that's a very small percentage if everything is distributed evenly and everybody has the same number of complaints as far as medical facilities and procedures and whatnot, as far as going to the team doctors as opposed to outside sources. Jacksonville had 25% of all claims filed against the team for those things. 25%, 1/4 for one team of 32 is inexcusable.
Yeah, that's definitely not getting the job done. So, I mean, I mean, whatever's happening in Jacksonville with that entire front office, with that coaching staff, I think it's just a matter of the season will come to an end and they will all be moving on to greener pastures. With the Atlanta Falcons, on the other hand, I do believe that Dan Quinn, despite the fact that he's not getting the job done, is probably going to get another year, especially if he can finish the season strong. And I do think the Falcons will make that happen. So I'm going to take the Falcons to win this game. 7.5. That is a tough number because it's like right on the cusp of being exactly where I could see the difference in this game being a touchdown. I suppose I'll give it, but I don't feel good about it. So let's put it this way. This would be a game, if I don't have to bet on it, I wouldn't.
You probably shouldn't. I don't even remember who I picked in this game, but whatever I picked Atlanta to do, they're most likely going to do the opposite because that's what they do. You picked them to
win. That sucks.
Oh, gosh. I'm sorry, Falcon fans. They might actually lose. Notable Falcons on the injury report this week include James Carpenter, their guard, Alan Bailey, the defensive end, Vic Beasley, their linebacker, and I'm going to mess this name up, Foyesade Olukun, linebacker, who was knocked out of Sunday's game against the 49ers.
You mentioned Tack McKinley, right? Because MJ here has written his report. McKinley
I did not mention Tack.
He's out for the remainder of the year with a shoulder injury, the second season in a row where the Dirty Birds have been impacted by injuries to starters on the defense, and they have to find a way to compensate. Well, maybe they should all go report to the Jaguars medical facilities. They seem to be The offense has looked pretty good since the bye week. I anticipate them looking good this week. Although Calvin Ridley out, I expect Julio to be doubled more than usual, meaning that Ryan Gage will have to target more, or meaning that Matt Ryan will have to target more people on the field, and that guy would be I don't know if it's Ryan Gage. I know Gage. What's his name?
Gage, yeah.
So we'll be watching him to spread the ball around. Keys to the game, offense has to play solid. Ryan has really got to distribute the ball to account for Ridley being out and Julio being double-teamed as often as I anticipate that he will. The run game has to do better than they did last week if the offense expects to keep the defense honest. He does predict the Dirty Birds 28-20. So that makes me feel better about the 7.5 points. Still not going to put any money on this game.
Oh, absolutely not.
No. Here's a game that we probably shouldn't talk a lot about. It's the Cincinnati Bengals at the Miami Dolphins. Bengals 1-13, Dolphins 3-11. It is Team 32 versus Team 31. Dolphins are favored by 1. The Bengals have won the past 2 versus the Dolphins, including a 27-17 victory last season. And I just want to see the Bengals screw up the pick. That is literally the only reason why I'm taking the Bengals. Just so that they can try and screw up the number 1 overall choice. You are taking the Miami Dolphins, though, James.
Yeah, I have no idea why.
I mean, because the Dolphins are probably a better team than the Bengals. I mean, if I were to really look and play it out player by player, I mean, your quarterbacks are probably a push. Wide receivers without AJ Green, I might give Devontae Parker the edge. Yeah.
Yeah. And outside of Parker, name a Dolphins wide receiver, please. Quickly.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Okay. So, yeah, I will probably switch my pick to the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't know. I was probably angry when I saw Dolphins. Was like, but whatever. As far as AJ Green, he is shutting it down for the rest of the year.
Oh, how nice of him.
Or at least reports are coming out of Cincinnati that he plans to do so. Officially, he hasn't done it yet.
I believe I've also saw that he has no problem being franchised. He just wants a commitment from the team.
But why this team?
It's a great question, James. It's a phenomenal one. Maybe he likes what he's seen in Joe Burrow, wants to catch passes from the young.
I mean, there's a squad not too far down the way from Cincinnati in Pennsylvania that wears green jerseys. He'd fit in nicely.
I didn't know you were going that far down the way in Pennsylvania. I thought you were going to stop maybe in
Ohio,
Pittsburgh. I thought maybe you were
not
going to go to Cleveland. Can you imagine AJ Green on the Cleveland Browns? That would be fun.
Yeah, we'll get to the Browns shortly. I can't imagine anybody there right now.
Weather in Miami, 77 thunderstorms predicted. We could have a weather delay in the toilet bowl, James.
Nice. No other way to have it.
We are not talking about anything else about this game. There can't be anything else related to this game. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm not mentioning injury reports because there are none.
Good. Baltimore Ravens 12-2. The Cleveland Browns 6-8. This is Team 1 versus Team 20. Ravens favored by 10 points in this particular game. The Browns have won 2 of the past 3 versus the Ravens, including a 40-25 whooping in September. Have the times changed? I want to believe the Browns have the magic formula to beat the Ravens, but the dysfunction in the organization right now is so Brownsian that I have to take the Ravens. I have to hope for the best. I expect the worst. I do think that based on that, I do think the Browns do know how to play defense against this Ravens team. And so I do think they'll keep it closer than 10 points. But ultimately, so that's a solid point too. But I'm still going to say that whatever it is that the Browns have scheme-wise, I think will still work even without Myles Garrett. So I will take the Ravens to win, Browns to keep it close.
Yeah, I'll take the Ravens to win as well. I don't know about the Browns keeping it close. They were completely inept on this past Sunday in Arizona, as I predicted. This team did not look like it wanted to play the game. And Jay, peep this. Reports from the game state that Cardinals players, personnel, whatever, were saying that Browns players were yelling at their sideline, "Come get me, come save me." And one of those players was Jarvis Landry. So, I mean, if you watch the body language of the Cleveland Browns over the last several weeks, forget the last several weeks. Go back, watch any single play that the Browns had on offense against the Arizona Cardinals. Watch the body language of every skill position player, from Baker Mayfield to Nick Chubb to Landry to Odell Beckham. These guys did not want to play this game. And no, it had nothing to do with Arizona, beating the brakes off them or anything like that. These guys just simply don't want to be there. And that's an organizational thing. So, yeah, I honestly believe, and we've already mentioned this the last several weeks, that coaching staff will most likely be fired. Whoever comes in next, discipline will have to be at the top of the charts. So, yeah, we mentioned Ron Rivera, but the Browns are not going to win this game because they don't want to play right now. I mean, the season's pretty much over. If anyone's, whispering in their ear, you still have an outside chance of the playoffs, they're fooling them. I mean, because I have beachfront property in Nebraska that I can easily sell you if you believe that too. But, yeah, nothing big.
Well, I mean, if you listen to all the global warming alarmists, that you will have beachfront property in Nebraska. You're saying there's a chance, James. You're saying there's a chance.
Gosh, there's no big injuries on the Ravens report other than tackle Ronnie Staley shows up as questionable. For the Browns, safety Eric Murray, defensive end Olivier Vernon, tackle Kendall Lamb, and tight end Ricky Seals-Jones all showed up as questionable.
The temperature 44, mostly sunny in Cleveland for Sunday. So no weather concerns for that particular game. The New Orleans Saints 10-3 at the Tennessee Titans 8-6. The Saints are 3. The Titans are 11. Saints are favored by 1 point. And I literally don't get the point spread other than the fact that Tennessee has historically been a roller coaster team and they should be on the up because they just lost. Saints are not a good road team, especially outdoors, but still the Saints are actually 11-3, not 10-3, and just gave Indianapolis everything that they could handle. Honestly, only allowed a garbage time touchdown at the very end of the game. I suspect a very similar outcome to what we saw against Indianapolis. So I'm going to take the Saints. I would take them big.
No.